Happy 2025. Welcome to the Tax Fix of NPK Consultancy. My name is Patricia Komani and you are?
Nomti Dolade.
We have had a lot of questions, right, from different people. What is it that we need to consider before we start a business, specifically registering a company? And we thought, why not? Let's just do a video. So we've got questions that Nomti will be asking me and we'll give you the answers. Please do comment below. Please do like and subscribe so that you can be notified when we do post other videos.
Yep.
So let's do this. Nomti, what are your questions?
Okay, so my first question is, must I register a company or trade as a sole proprietor?
Well, that there isn't a simple yes or no.
Okay.
And one thing that you'll know about tax is my favorite phrase, it is not automatic, right?
Yeah.
And that simply means that what might work for somebody else might not work for another person. What you need to consider is your personal tax, right? What tax bracket do you fall under? And should you put your business within that tax, within your personal tax, how will that affect your tax bracket? That's one. Secondly, what is your long-term goal? Is this a side hustle or are you trying to grow this thing? Because you need to remember, once you've registered a company, it's like getting married. You have a commitment until death do us apart. So that means if you register a company, you will now be responsible for certain things. So if your intention is not to have the company for a long goal, then rather don't register the company and just do a sole proprietor. But if you are planning on growing the business, then that might be something that you need to consider.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, now I just want to know, when do you register for income tax? Because I know that is crucial.
So that, let's assume that now you've registered the company, right?
Okay.
You've made the decision that I'm going to register the company. When do you need to register for income tax?
Yeah.
The moment you register with CIPC in conjunction with SARS,
Okay.
they issue your income tax number. So meaning that you don't actually have to go to SARS to register for income tax. What you need to do, however, is register on e-filing and register the tax representative of the company. So what does that mean? It simply means the person whom SARS will be in communication with. SARS will not give you any information if you're not the tax representative.
Okay.
That is something that then you would have to do on your own.
All right, got it. My follow-up question to that is my business automatically liable for VAT?
No, your business is not automatically liable for VAT.
Okay.
Only when your taxable supplies,
Yeah.
right, hit the 1 million benchmark, then you are required to register for VAT 21 days after that.
Okay.
If you register for tax 21 days, more than 21 days, then you are late and you might trigger penalties. So FYI on that.
Sure.
And you know, right, penalties is like a thing with SARS. So
Yeah.
just make sure that you are registering on time. However, should you want to volunteer, you can.
Okay.
If your taxable supplies are more than 50,000. Now I'm sure you're wondering, what are taxable supplies?
Right.
Not every single company actually have income that should be charged VAT on, right? There are some types of services that are provided that are exempt from being registered for VAT.
Okay.
An example would be financial institutions when it comes to loan, right? The loan itself is exempt from VAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
The bank charges have VAT.
Ah.
Yeah, so you need to
okay.
make sure that the services that you provide,
Yeah.
if they meet the qualification of being a taxable supply,
Right.
then it can register for VAT if you hit the
okay.
1 million mark, or if you want to volunteer and your income is over 50,000.
Okay, got it. And I think, sure, a follow-up question to that
Okay.
is what if my business is not trading or making any profit? Do I still need to submit tax returns?
Yes, and yes. Okay. So with SARS, going back to what I just said,
Yeah.
registering a company is like you are
married.
Exactly. So when you're married, do you still need to ensure that the vows that you made to your husband, you adhere them
100%.
to? Same thing. So the moment that you are registered for a company, right? Or you register a company with CIPC,
Yeah.
then you will have to submit income tax
Okay.
returns every year, whether your company is dormant, whether your company is making a loss, whether your company is making a profit, it doesn't matter. You will have to submit those tax returns. If you don't, what will happen?
Penalties.
Penalties. Yeah, so that is very crucial.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so follow up to that will be, will SARS penalize me
And
if I don't submit tax returns? And we've already heard it. For sure, it will. And
For
they
sure.
do not miss, yes.
exactly.
Okay, question after that. Should I budget for income tax?
Oh yes. The purpose why you would budget for income tax is to simplify things for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you are trading, and let's say you have made 100,000 rand profit,
Okay.
right? So if you've made 100,000 rand profit, we are assuming that the tax that you need to pay is about 270,000 rand.
Right.
You might not have 270,000 rand at that moment.
Yeah.
But should you have included that in your budget, right? That means you're now tracking throughout the year how much profit you've made, and therefore how much you need to save for your taxes.
Yeah.
Which helps you when the time comes,
That's
because
true.
now you're not running away from SARS in
Yeah.
submitting the tax returns. You're not paying late, which also triggers interest, right?
Yeah.
Because you already have the money, or at least a portion of the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. That's very good. Now, what is the income tax rate? Which is very important.
It's 27%,
Okay.
but like I've said, it's not automatic.
Yeah.
Right? So what I mean by that is, if your company is just considered as a company with SARS,
Okay.
then the rate is 27%.
Right.
If your company qualifies for small business corporation, then there's a different tax bracket altogether,
Altogether,
right?
okay.
Which starts from 7% going as far as 40%, right? Apologies, going as far as 27%.
Okay.
So that just depends which company do you fall under
Yeah.
for tax purposes. Are you a normal company, or are you considered as the small business corporation?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And this would be the final and last question. When do I pay income tax?
When do you pay income tax?
Yes.
So maybe let's start with, when do you submit the tax return, right? You would submit your annual income tax return the following year. Okay. So what do I mean by the following year?
Yeah.
If your financial year end is 2025, right? That February 2025, that tax return is due next year, February 2026. So when you submit the tax return, whether from July this year to February 2026, whichever month, a month later, you're given a grace period of a month.
Okay.
After that month, your taxes are due. So if you pay after the month of your submission of the tax return, then there will be interest that is charged. Within that first month, interest is not charged.
Okay. I guess that's all for me in terms of the questions. Over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. So yes, make sure that you think about all of these things before you actually register for a company, right? It might seem great, it might seem fun to say I've got a company, but once you register a company, there are responsibilities that come with that.
True.
And you need to look at, are you in a position to adhere to these responsibilities, which are what we call rules and regulations of the business, or are you not? Is your purpose of having the company for, like I said, to grow with the company, or is this just a side hustle that you're doing?
Yeah.
So if this is just a side hustle that you're doing because you just want to generate extra income, is it beneficial for you to have it under your name, the sole proprietor, or should you have a company? Consider all of those things. And remember, this video is just simply based on tax.
Yeah.
There are other things that you need to consider.
True.
The administration part of it. You will have to have financial statements on an annual basis.
Yeah.
And obviously that has to be done by somebody. You'll need to make sure that you've got an accounting software to ensure that everything is being recorded. Right? You need to submit CIPC annual return on an annual basis. You need to pay annual levy with CIPC on an annual basis. You need to submit beneficial ownership with CIPC on an annual basis if you have registered a company. And you might find that in the industry that you're in, there are other requirements that you need to adhere to.
True.
So yeah, man, just think about these things. Make sure that you are ready to get into this marriage.
Yeah.
Because the only time you leave, there's no divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce here is the registration.
True.
So it's until death do us apart.
True.
That is the only time you can get away to not adhering. So yes, until next time, thank you for joining us. Please do subscribe and click the notify button so that when we do post our videos on tax, you will be able to get the notification immediately.
Yeah.
This was Patricia and
Nomti
at the Tax Fix of NPK Consultancy. Until next time, bye.